Jones asked for 6 months once the fight gets locked in. Have you seen that?
I've seen it, but I don't know how true it is. I don't know. I don't really believe anything that I read anymore, to be honest, because actually, Dana himself told me to not believe anything that you read in the media, because sometimes they just, putting out stuff that might not be true, or someone's misheard something or whatever. So I just don't read it anymore. Tonight, I'll speak to him directly and I'll find out.
Our Tom Aspinall recently taunted Jon Jones at UFC London, flashing a rubber duck to mock the champ's delay.
And that man's looking for a fight. What does that mean? The interim heavyweight champ.
Tom Aspinall's ongoing rivalry with Jon Jones took another turn at UFC London when the interim heavyweight champion made a playful yet pointed statement. During the broadcast, the cameras panned Aspinall in the crowd, and instead of an elaborate reaction, he simply held up a flashing rubber duck, a clear reference to his ongoing claims that Jones has been avoiding him. The gesture resonated with fans, many of whom have accused Jones of dodging the fight for months.
Yeah, it came out Jon Jones wants 6 months to prepare for Aspinall.
I think that's fair. What do you feel about that?
It makes sense.
Where do you put your money?
I would not have bet against Jon, but I do think he should be an underdog in that fight.
Damn.
Aspinall's young, in his prime.
So
Jon didn't look great, I don't think, against Stipe. Didn't look great against Cyril Gane.
Yeah.
We don't know. There's so many question marks on Jon. My money would probably be on Aspinall, but Jon's the greatest to ever do it. So you don't want to count him out. I would say Jon should be like a plus 120 because there's question marks.
Aspinall's a big boy.
And very, very skilled.
And
but he has some holes. His defense is a little.
Well, he's also got holes in. If Jon grabs that black belt in jiu-jitsu, is all good. But if Jon grabs him, puts him on his back, that's a possibility too.
Oh yeah, that's probably his best bet because he's not going to knock him out.
For a long time now, Jones has not shown much enthusiasm about unification bout, despite widespread belief that Aspinall is his biggest threat. While discussion about the fight had seemingly died down for a while, recent statements from both fighters have reignited the debate. Jones has expressed his frustration with what he sees as Aspinall's disrespect, but many believe the Englishman's jabs have been nothing more than lighthearted fun rather than outright hostile.
What is your message to the man?
I don't have a message. I've had enough. Let me fight.
There it is.
Let me fight somebody. I'm a professional fighter and I want to fight somebody. I'm overweighting, to be honest.
Aspinall has done his part to keep the conversation alive, whether through social media or subtle gestures like the rubber duck incident. He continues to apply pressure and keep the discussion around the fight going, while Jones has dismissed the idea that he is intentionally avoiding the bout. Many within the MMA community remains skeptical. UFC's heavyweight division has long been in a state of uncertainty, largely due to Jones's reluctance to commit to the fight. He previously stated that he wants a massive payday if he is to fight Aspinall, even hinting that he would only accept if the financial offer was life-changing. This demand, which some sources claim to be around $30 million, has fueled speculation about whether Jones is truly interested in the fight. While UFC commentator Joe Rogan has denied these reports of reality, remains that the heavyweight division has yet to move forward.
Correct something, because there was a conversation that I had with Giannis Pappas and Chris Stefano. We were talking about Jon Jones. I had heard a rumor that Jon Jones wanted $30 million to fight Tom Aspinall, and I did hear that rumor, and I did hear that the UFC said yes, but it is not true. So Dana contacted me, said that rumor's bullshit. So I felt obligated to tell everybody that was a fake rumor. I don't even remember who, because we did that podcast, unfortunately, we did that podcast 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember who told me that.
What do you think the amount is that Jon Jones would fight him for, or do you think it's an amount?
Well, apparently Jon is thinking about retiring.
Yeah.
And he should. I mean, he's going to have to someday. He should. I'm not saying he should retire. I'm saying he should think about it. Give the man all the time he wants. He can fight whenever he wants to fight. That's Jon.
Aspinall's frustration has been growing as he continues to wait for a definitive answer. He has held the interim belt for nearly 500 days, yet his status as the #1 heavyweight remains unofficial. UFC President Dana White initially suggested that the fight could happen in the summer, but Jones reportedly requested an additional 6 months to prepare, pushing the potential date back to the fall of 2020. This delay has only added to the growing impatience among fans and fighters alike.
It was Happy Punch, and another ran with the 6-month thing that I said yesterday. No, they ran with it yesterday, and I said it last week, more than a week ago. I don't know how that came up. Listen, I tell you guys what I know, and we all know that they want to make the fight. We all know that Aspinall is in. and I don't need to be some kind of insider to tell you this. He has said it himself. We all know that he's meeting with the brass this week in London. We know that Jon Jones is in at a certain price. We believe that price is in the...
During a recent interview, Aspinall made it clear that he is not chasing Jones as an individual as priority, is proving that he is the best heavyweight in the world. If Jones is not holding the undisputed title, then the fight does not interest him. His concern is securing his place as the true champion, and without that opportunity, his motivation to face Jones diminishes. However, with Jones still in possession of the belt, the unification bout remains the logical next.
Do you think the Jon fight will happen?
I don't know. I want it to, obviously. I mean, I think I've been talking about it for like 2 years now. In all honesty, I've been in the rooms with the UFC brass, Dana, Hunter, the rest of them, and they've told me it's happening. And that's all I can go off. So I trust that it's going to happen if they're telling me that.
Had they given you like a cut-off point and they said, right, we're going to give it till this point and then we're going to move maybe in a different direction?
Well, I have got a meeting about that next week, so
okay,
I will let you know on that. But for right now, that's what we've got a meeting about it, so I'll find out more.
The ongoing saga has also drawn reactions from other fighters, including Colby Covington, who has been outspoken about Jones's handling of the situation. Singleton recently criticized the champion's approach, stating that Jones is holding out for an unreasonable payout. He questioned how Jones could demand a figure as high as $4 to $50 million when he has not demonstrated the ability to generate that level of revenue. Singleton said they're definitely trying to make it happen, but you heard that interview with Aspinall. He's like, I'm done talking about Jon. They're not getting this fight done. Until it's signed, I don't want to talk about it anymore. You can see the frustration from Aspinall's side. Jon is ducking. He's trying to ask for an unreasonable price. You can't be asking for $4 or $50 million. You don't draw money to a company like that. I think he's going to retire before he fights Aspinall. Aspinall himself has grown weary of the conversation, stating that he is ready to fight whenever the UFC makes it official. His prime years are slipping away as he remains on the sidelines waiting for Jones to commit. Many in the MMA world see this as a waste of time for a fighter at the peak of his career. Sitting out for extended periods is a significant setback, especially in a division as competitive as heavyweight.
Are you guys ready to challenge you for the belt?
Yep. Same as always. I'll fight anybody. Just send the option my way and I will say yes. I'm pretty easygoing in that regard. I'm here to fight people. I'm not really here to do... I mean, we've been doing a bit of media stuff recently, but that's only because I'm not fighting. Like, give me a fight, I will say yes. Jones last fought at UFC 309, where he successfully defended his title against former champion Stipe Miocic. That fight ended with spectacular spinning back kick, and the event drew over 800,000 pay-per-view buys. However, since that victory, he has remained inactive, fueling speculation about whether he is truly willing to take on Aspinall. The UFC's inability to lock down this fight has been met with increasing criticism. Chael Sonnen has been vocal about his dissatisfaction, questioning Jones's dedication to training. Sonnen pointed out that if Jones truly needed 6 months to prepare, then what had he been doing in the 4.5 months since his last fight? Chael said, for heaven's sake, did he take the whole time off? It's been 4.5 months since that fight. Did he not train? Despite the delays, Dana White remains confident that the fight will take place. He recently stated that the bout is guaranteed to happen, but the final details still need to be ironed out before an official announcement can be made. The fight is not signed yet, but according to White, it is just a matter of time. This assurance has done little to ease the concerns of fans and fighters who have grown impatient with the lack of progress.
When to get that done?
No, it's going to happen. It's done, but it's not done. Not done enough to sit right here now and announce it and give you a date, but the fight's going to happen.
With that then, if I could just poke it a little bit more, is it more on logistics rather than the agreement of the fighters? No. Is it on the logistics?
No, just a matter of getting it signed now.
Meanwhile, the controversy surrounding Jones's hesitance has only intensified. UFC light heavyweight champion Magomed Ankalaev recently took a shot at Jones, accusing him of deliberately avoiding Aspinall. He took to social media to mock the champion, creating an image of Jones as a duckling alongside a sarcastic caption questioning why Jones has not accepted the fight. Ankalaev also challenged Jones to return to light heavyweight and face him, further adding to the pressure on the heavyweight champion he. Posted, Johnny Chicken Bones didn't want to fight Big Tom, come back to light heavyweight division, and fight Big Ain't Stop Running. Michael Bisping has also weighed in on the situation. He has expressed sympathy for Aspinall, acknowledging the frustration of being stuck in limbo. Aspinall is in his prime, training every day, and should be fighting regularly, yet he has been left waiting for a fight that should have been booked months ago. Bisping has been particularly critical of the idea that Jones needs 6 months to prepare, arguing that a professional fighter of Jones's caliber should not require that much time for a training camp. He believes that if Jones continues to delay, the UFC may have to consider stripping him of his title.
He's playing a really smart game. I mean, leading up to his last fight with Stipe Miocic, he was kind of dismissing the fight, and that just made everybody want to see the fight even more. So I think he's playing like a stroke of genius here and annoying everybody, you know, pissing off Tom Aspinall and just ramping up the excitement for the fight. I think the fight will happen later this year, if not this summer. So until we know that, it's not fair to say that he's ducking.
Tom's father, Andy Aspinall, has been one of the loudest voices expressing discontent over how the situation is playing out. He firmly believes that his son has done everything required to earn a shot at Jon Jones's undisputed heavyweight title, and he feels that it is fundamentally unfair for Tom to remain in a holding pattern while Jones decides when or if he will fight for Andy. The matter isn't just about his son getting the fight, it's about the principle of fairness.
The gym, you know, the bum in the shower, they say, don't they? It just is. He just wants to compete. He's a competitor.
Yeah.
And as a coach, you want him competing when he's fit. You don't want him sitting around. And in the gym, you don't know whether they're ready or not. You don't know what level they're going to be at. You know, I just want him to compete. He wants to compete all the time. So hopefully they'll sort something out. I don't know what's all.
Meanwhile, Dryas Duplessis has offered his own perspective on the potential fight Duplexy, while recognizing Aspinall's impressive rise and acknowledging that he represents the future of the heavyweight division, still holds a deep respect for Jones and his legacy. He describes the fight between the two as inevitable, but admits that it's hard for him to root for either fighter to lose. From Duplexy's viewpoint, Jones has earned the right to retire without suffering a loss, and that emotional complexity adds layers to an already highly anticipated matchup.
Now, Aspinall is young, he's hungry. You have Jones, who is definitely at the end of his career, 38 years old. I don't need to see this because he's never been beaten. So I don't need to see Jon Jones fight Aspinall because I don't want either one of them to lose. I want Jon Jones to retire unbeaten. Of course, he had that DQ for 12-6, which is now legal, but unbeaten and the legend that he is. And I want him to retire and Aspinall.
Adding another layer to the discussion, Francis Inu has weighed in bringing up the possibility that Jones's reluctance to take the fight might not be about his capabilities in the octagon, but about securing the right financial deal. According to Francis, the fight is far more important for Aspinall's legacy than it is for Jones's. Ganu questions whether Jones truly sees this fight as essential to his career, or if he's simply looking for a financial incentive that matches his stature. Furthermore, Nanu suggests that Aspinall, with his grappling skills, might pose a greater challenge to Jones and a striker like Alex Pereira, whom Jones has shown some interest in facing.
Aspinall need that fight. I don't need it. When you look at it, pretty much true. There's nothing that he's going to make winning that fight if it's not money. But for Aspinall, that will be everything.
Would you rather see him face Aspinall or would you rather see him face Pereira?
Aspinall will be a more challenging fight because Aspinall responds to a ground game better than Pereira. Aspinall will respond better in the wrestling than Pereira. You can do what.
MMA Guru has expressed disappointment over the 6-month situation. Guru argues that the prolonged wait has deprived fans of a chance to see one of the most anticipated heavyweight clashes in recent memory on any of the upcoming UFC cards. He criticizes Jones for what he perceives as an unnecessary excuse to delay the fight, implying that the champion is trying to avoid a fight he may not want.
So Jon Jones has come out and said that he needs 6 months of preparation to fight Aspinall once it's locked in, which means we are not going to get this fight on International Fight Week. We aren't going to get it in June, July, or August. The earliest that we are going to get this fight, and that's if it is signed over the next week, is in September. If this takes a few weeks to get done, we aren't going to see this fight until October. Jon Jones is an absolute embarrassment to MMA. He is a disgrace. he should be not only stripped of the
This frustration doesn't end with Jones, as Guru also points to the UFC's handling of the situation, suggesting that the promotion should be more proactive in enforcing rules that prevent champions from stalling. In fact, Guru goes as far as to argue that if Jones continues to delay, the UFC should consider taking serious action, including possibly terminating his contract, to set a precedent for the sport.
So Jon Jones has come out and said that he needs 6 months of preparation to fight Aspinall once it's locked in, which means we are not going to get this fight on International Fight Week. We aren't going to get it in June, July, or August. The earliest that we are going to get this fight, and that's if it is signed over the next week, is in September. If this takes a few weeks to get done, we aren't going to see this fight until October. Jon Jones is an absolute embarrassment to MMA. He is a disgrace. He should be not only stripped of the...
From a more tactical standpoint, Stipe Miocic has provided his insights into how Aspinall might approach the fight with Jones. Miocic, understanding Jones's ability to capitalize on opponents' mistakes, suggests that Aspinall must remain patient and avoid being too aggressive. Jones has built his career on exploiting openings in his opponent's games.
Aspinall is a guy that could give Jon a lot of problems.
Yeah, he's very fast, he's very athletic, and hits hard enough, and he's actually like a smart heavyweight. He's not just out there just fighting and moving. He's like setting things up. He understands footwork. He understands how to set up a takedown. He's not. One thing I noticed with Jon, this is a bonus to him. He takes.
Jones's reluctance to commit to the fight has raised questions about whether he is being overly cautious. While he's had an incredible career and remains one of the greatest fighters in MMA history, his unwillingness to face Aspinall has tarnished his reputation among some fans. So what are your thoughts about this? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right